In Zack Snyder's Justice League, Barry Allen breaks a window simply by touching it. That's because Windows no longer supports Flash. Thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel today for Comic Book Editions Volume 147. I have Justice League of America Volume 1 back issues today in this video, plus a Funko Pop to share with you, and some recent ratio incentive covers that I've added into my collection. Thanks again for stopping by. It feels like this video has been a long time coming because I've been promising this for a while, and I'm happy to share these Justice League of America Volume 1 books for you. Working on this run has been a priority for me, and it's been a little while since I've shared some with you. Let's get started with a book that I actually had, but needed to get an upgraded copy of. I found this upgraded copy of Justice League of America, Volume 1, issue number 208, at Half Price Books. Decided to scoop it up since it was right there in the wild for me. This was part of the yearly, and they do these every summer, JLA JSA team-ups. And if I'm remembering correctly, the year this book came out, it was the 20th anniversary of those JLA JSA team-ups, and they decided to make it a little more special by including the All-Star Squadron. The frame that you see with the floating heads around was kind of different, at least for that time. And something like that on a spinner rack really stood out. What I do remember was all the characters had different facial expressions on the borders of all the different issues that conceived this year's team-up. As a matter of fact, we retro-reviewed this story on Fanboys Live and the Retro Review once, so you can catch that on the rewind if you're interested with what this story is all about. This issue particularly has a beautiful George Perez cover. Let's show you something that you might instantly say, what the heck is that? Don't feel bad if that's what you're thinking, because I've had a few people say that to me. This past December, DC Comics did a facsimile of Brave and the Bold 28, which is the first appearance of the Justice League of America. This was a team-exclusive cover for that facsimile. There actually were two different versions of it. This was the main A cover, and then there's a B cover, which is the same image, but it was black and white, looking like a photograph that was on a Daily Planet headline newspaper. Of course, I think the book came out to tie in with the original anniversary of the first printing of Brave and the Bold 28, the first appearance of the Justice League, December 28th, 1959, just like it says right there on the cover too, kind of stamped on there as well. It's interesting inclusion to put Superman and Batman on the cover since they weren't on the original cover. It had been a minute since I had reread The Origin of the Justice League from Brave and the Bold 28, but I did that not too long ago when Comics for Thomas AOK'd me a copy of the Millennium edition of that book. Brought back some memories rereading that. Maybe someday I can get an original Brave and the Bold 28. I don't know. Maybe. It would be nice. Right now I'm just focusing on Justice League Volume 1 and seeing if I can complete that run, which is still going to take me a few more years. After that, we'll see what happens. I don't know if it's in the cards or not. Since I've been talking about Brave and the Bold number 28, have you seen this? Look at this big Funko Pop. Now this is the original cover, redone Funko style, and this is one of the larger Funko Pops, kind of when they do the classic covers. And this is a Wal-Mart exclusive. I'd been looking for this for a while with no luck. And then finally one day I was just looking and I saw there was a Walmart actually not that far from me that had it in stock. So I went over and was able to pick up one. If you have this and have opened it, there's one thing that I'm curious about. Nowhere on the packaging does it say this, but I've read it from several different sources that all of these include an NFT of Brave and the Bold number 28, and there's different rarity levels. So I haven't opened mine yet either, and I don't know anyone who has it that's opened theirs yet either to know if there is a certificate inside for that Brave and the Bold NFT. I wouldn't call myself an NFT collector, but if it's in there, I mean, I have a few NFTs. But if it's included in there, I might as well redeem it. Maybe I have an ultra rare copy of the NFTs. I have no idea if NFTs, will ever gain some huge value or if they're going to go the way of the Laserdisc. But I've thrown my money away on worse things than that. So I think this is a cool Funko Pop, and I'm really happy to finally be able to have one. I think I would have had some FOMO if I would have missed out on the chance of getting one of these. The next book that I have to share with you from Justice League Volume 1 is issue number 120. This is a story that I was familiar with because I read it in a Bronze Age Justice League omnibus. But I didn't have the original physical floppy copy. Issue number 120, as you can tell by the cover, features Kanjar Ro as the big baddie. If I'm remembering correctly, this is the first time pre-crisis that Elongated Man and Black Canary learn of the existence of Adam Strange. Plus, I think according to what he says in the story, Elongated Man mentions it's the first time he's ever been on a different world or a different planet in this story as well. So Bronze Age is my thing. Of course, at the end, there's a big cliffhanger. You think some members of the JLA have been disintegrated. Spoiler, they weren't. Good book to have. I had seen this in the wild a few times, but for whatever reason, it just wasn't in the budget, or the budget was running short, or I wanted to save my money for something else. But now it's become a priority to pick up, and I have it. I'm really excited to show you this. Oh yeah, you're looking at a Justice League of America Volume 1, issue number 2. You might remember on Comic Book Editions Volume 100, I picked up issue number 1, which honestly I never thought I would own. And shortly before that video, I had picked up issue number 3. Now I can bridge the gap between them with issue number 2. Very minor key, as it's the first appearance of Snapper Carr's brother, Jimmy Carr. Not to be confused with Jimmy Carter, not to be confused with Linda Carter. We have this Gardner Fox, Murphy, Anderson collaboration like they did on the early Justice League stories. It was an all right read. Some Silver Age DC is okay, and some is good, and some is just not good. This one was okay, and I think I had read this in the past, but it had been a long time. I never had owned an original of this. I was really stoked. Not too long ago, maybe a little over a month ago, maybe about 6 weeks now or so, I showed you in a Comic Book Editions video some other early JSAs that I got, within the first 10 issues. With this being in my collection, and by the way, I bought this book over a year ago and had it held for a long time as I was building a box from the seller that I got it from. So I've known for a while that this was coming. And finally it's here, and finally I'm able to, I'm finally showing it to you. But with the addition of this, when you look at the first 10 JLA issues in my collection, if I'm remembering correctly, I have 1 through 3 and 6 through 9. So that's pretty good, when you look at the first 10 issues of Justice League, to have that many already crossed off of my list. And I'm just stoked to be able to share this with you. Working on my Justice League of America Volume 1 run is going to be huge for me this summer into the fall. You're going to see a lot, and I do mean a lot, of Justice League comic book back issues in my videos. If you thought you were seeing a lot of Spider-Man, you're going to be seeing a lot of Justice League as well. That's for sure. Before I continue on, I want to say if you're new to my channel and haven't subscribed yet, I hope you take this opportunity to do so. If you can share this channel or this video with someone else that you think might be interested, that's another great way to show support as well. Giving this video a thumbs up helps the algorithm as well. I appreciate everything that you do for me. Before I wrap up this video, I want to share with you some of the recent incentive covers from Wonder Woman series that I've added into my collection. This is 798, and this is the 1 in 25 edition. Now, I've kind of been on a platform recently, a little frustrated with the amount of variant covers they've been doing on Wonder Woman. This issue only had 5, and I say only had 5 because some of these, like the issue before this, I think had 8. Too many. 5's too many, but 5's better than 8, at least on my budget. I was spending between $80 and $100 just on the current Wonder Woman issue each month. It's too much. And then they also did a 1 in 50 foiled out of its mind incentive cover, which is just like the main A cover. This was part of the Revenge of the Gods, Lazarus Planet, Revenge of the Gods storyline that crossed over into Wonder Woman with Wonder Woman and Shazam. And here we have Wonder Woman kind of becoming Shazam on this cover. Nice virgin cover, though. the 1 in 50. And they've been, the 1 in 50s have been the main A covers, just virgin and foil. Then the current issue of Wonder Woman that's out right now is $7.99. This is the 1 in 25 incentive cover for that. I thought this issue was fantastic. I love so much. I know the writers kind of made this their love letter to Wonder Woman. I loved some of the things that I saw in there. I love the cliffhanger ending. This is a book I would reread over and over because I enjoyed it that much. And then I have, finally, to wrap up this video with the 1 in 50 foil incentive virgin cover for this. Now, issue number 800 comes out, I believe, on June 20th, and there's going to be a lot of variant covers for that. Not as many as what they did for issue 750, but there is going to be a lot for that. Then following that, it's the 2 issues that they're doing this summer that DC is doing before they relaunch Wonder Woman with a new volume and a new issue number 1 with a new creative team. One thing that I'm worried about is I'm not going to see Siegfried anymore. That's a character I've really grown to love and enjoy so much. And I'm worried if I do see Siegfried, Siggy, maybe he won't be the same Siggy that I've really come to enjoy in this run of Wonder Woman. So I hope that's not the case. I know it's going in a whole different direction. You know, Tom King, some of his writing can be just absolutely amazing, and some of it isn't for other people. So, you know, I'm going to keep positive vibes that I keep on enjoying the series as much as I have been with the writing of Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad. Speaking of June 20th, if I'm remembering correctly, the way things fall out on June 20th, I'll be dropping my Comic Book Editions Volume 150 video. And I want to make that a little bit extra special and maybe something a little bit different as well. So I'm kind of been thinking about that and wondering how that's going to play out and what I can put together for you. So I got a couple of things already in place that I've been sitting on for a little while, actually. And I want to include in that video and try to build it up even with a little more than I have already. So be looking for that in a matter of a few weeks, actually. What cover was your favorite out of everything that I shared with you today? I'd love to know that. So make sure to leave me a comment below and let me know. Thanks again for your support of this Comic Book Editions video, and I'll see you next week with another regular edition. In the meantime, Fanboys Live and the Retro Review coming up this weekend. And then there's the back issue of the week YouTube short that I do as well. So check that out as well. Catch you soon. Take care.